To study this subject, I does not require any pre-requirement. In the sense, I'm going to start from the scratch. What is computer network here? It's nothing but the interconnection of two or more devices for the purpose of sharing resources as well as data. While transferring data from one node to another, the data are converted in the form of digital bit. Hello friends, a warm welcome to my introductory session on computer networks. I'm your Revati ma'am, faculty from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, first grade college, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. And this subject is introduced by the MYSURU University for third semester B.C.A student. And in my today's session, I'm going to give the introduction about the subject. Before going to start my introductory class, let me to see the topics I'm going to cover in this session. So dear student, at the beginning, I'm going to start with the prerequisites. Along with that, I'm going to discuss learning outcome. Along with that, I'm going to discuss number of units comes under this subject. Along with that, I'm going to discuss internal pattern as well as question paper pattern. Before going to start my today's session, let me to discuss what is computer network. I think, dear student, you all are familiar with computer network. Think that I have four systems and I want to connect all these systems together. For that, I'm going to have computer network. So what is computer network? It combines devices or it combines computer. And the purpose is to combine all the devices is to share the resources as well as to communicate each other. So what is computer network here? It's nothing but the combination or group of two or more devices and they are connected each other for the purpose of sharing data as well as sharing resources and to communicate each other. So dear student, let me to check the prerequisites of this subject. To study this subject, I does not require any pre-requirement. In the sense, I'm going to start from the scratch. That is, what is computer, what is the need of computer and what is the applications of computer, what are the characteristics of computer, what are the different kinds of protocols as well as topology we have. All those things we are going to study. So, I'm going to start from the basic. To understand the subject, you does not require any prerequisites. Now, let me to discuss the learning outcome of the subject. So, dear student, if I study this subject, then I can able to understand the different kinds of data transmission technique used to transfer the digital data from one system to another and how I am going to share the resources and how I am going to exchange the data between the two or more devices. At the same time, I can able to learn and understand the basics of data communication. Along with that, various type of network we are going to have in our real world and how I am going to use all those type of computer networks in our real world application. So dear student, here I am mainly going to focus different types of computer network and how I am going to use all those networks in my real world application. Along with that, I can able to compare the different layers of protocols. At the same time, I can able to learn and understand what are the conceptual models we have and how we are going to use the protocol, what is the need of protocol, and if I consider TCP bar IP, that's nothing but transmission control protocol and internet protocol and OSI reference model. And if I consider these conceptual models, we have different kinds of layers and what is the need of these layers and how we are going to use these layers while transferring the data from one device to another. These are the certain thing we are going to study in this subject and these are the learning outcome of this subject. Now, dear student, let me to discuss the total number of units comes under the subject. If I consider computer network, we are going to have 3 units. How many units? 3 units. And if I consider first unit, I have 2 chapters. So first unit, how many chapters? 2 chapters. As I discussed in my prerequisites, I am going to start from the scratch. So in my first chapter, I am going to discuss introduction about computer network in the sense what is computer network. So what is computer network here? It's nothing but the interconnection of 2 or more devices for the purpose of sharing resources as well as data. For example, think that I have 2 computers and I have only 1 printer. Now, both the system want to access this printer. How can I? For that, I am going to have computer network. In the sense, I want to connect this system together by using computer network and I want to install this printer in any one of the computer and I want to share this printer so that the 2 system can able to make use of this resource. So what is the need of computer network? It's mainly used to share the resources as well as to communicate each other. So dear student, in chapter 1, I'm going to study computer network in the sense definition of computer network. Along with that, we are going to study the application. So what is computer network application? That's nothing but the usage of computer network in the sense in which are the fields we can able to use computer network. Along with that, we are going to study structure of computer network and architecture of computer network. So what kind of architecture? It is peer-to-peer as well as client-server architecture. Along with that, we are going to study topology. So what is topology here? It's nothing but the physical representation of computer system in the sense how the computer systems are connected each other, either ring topology or mesh topology or bus topology. Along with that, we are going to study the type of network. How many types? It is only 3 types. Local area network, wide area network as well as metropolitan area network. Along with this, we are going to study OSI reference model and TCP bar IP reference model in the sense while sending data from one computer to another computer, how the data is going to transfer, how we are going to provide the security. Is there any conversion technology or technique we are going to use to transfer the data from one system to another. Along with that, we have second chapter. So what is second chapter here? That's nothing but the physical layer. In the sense how we are going to transfer the data. To transfer the data, what kind of mechanism we are using? Either wireless or wired. If it is wireless, so what is transmission media? How I'm going to establish the connection. To establish the connection, what kind of technique I'm using? Either wired or wireless. If I go with wired, then I have coaxial cable, twisted pair cable as well as fiber optics. Suppose if I go with wireless, then what are the technique? That is radio transmission, microwave transmission as well as infrared transmission. Along with this, I am going to have this switching. In that, we are going to study message switching as well as multiplexing. So, these are the two chapters we are going to study under Unit 1. Now, let's see which are the topic we have under Unit 2. So, dear student, under Unit 2, once again I have two chapters. One is the data link layer and another one is the network layer. If I consider data link layer, what are the things we are going to study? That is error detection. So, what is error detection? While transferring the data from one node. So, what is node here? That's nothing but the computer to another computer. The digital bit may vary. So, while transferring data from one node to another, the data are converted in the form of digital bit or digital data transmission. And while transferring the data bit may change from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. And what are the technique used to identify here? That is checksum, single parity checking as well as polynomial codes. Along with that, CRC, that is cyclic redundancy check. And how can I identify errors? For that, I am going to have the error correction. In the sense, how I am going to correct the errors? For that, I am going to have Hamming code, elementary data link protocols as well as sliding window protocols. So, these are the very important topic under Unit 2. And if I consider second chapter under Unit 2, it is network layer. So, it is related to network layer. Network layer design issue. What are the problems we are going to face while designing network layer? Along with that, routing algorithm. So, routing in the sense what? How I am going to reach the destination. For example, think that I have source, I have destination, and in middle I have the mediator. Now, see here, I can able to travel from this node to this node and from this node to this node. Or I can directly transfer or travel from source to destination, or with the help of mediator, I can able to reach the destination. And I am going to identify or rectify best route, that is known as routing algorithm. Okay, so here I am going to consider the shortest distance to transfer the data, that is known as routing algorithm. Along with that, we are going to study flooding, distance vector, routing, hierarchical routing, link state routing, Along with that, we are going to study conjunction. So what is conjunction here? That's nothing but the traffic. How to control the traffic? What are the measures we are going to take to control the traffic? All those things we are going to study under conjunction. So what is conjunction? It's nothing but the network traffic. In this, we have leaky bucket algorithm, token bucket algorithm, admission control, hop by hop, packet checking. So these are the certain algorithms comes under conjunction control. So dear student, these are the very important topic of this subject. So dear student, you must know how to transfer the data. While transferring the data, how can I protect the data? What are the measures I can able to take? Which is the shortest route I can have? Along with that, how can I control the traffic? All those things we are going to study under this unit. Now, if I consider third unit, here I have the transport layer. So, along with that, we have presentation layer and application layer. So, dear student, if I consider OSI reference model, I am going to have 7 layers. And in this subject, we are going to study all the 7 layers in depth. In the sense, the use of all the 7 layers. Now, in unit 3, I have transport layer, presentation layer and application layer. In this unit, I am going to study the different kinds of elements of transport service. Along with that, elements of transport protocols supported by the transport layer, that is TCP, Transmission Control Protocol and User Datagram Protocol. So one is wired, in the sense connection oriented, and another one is connectionless protocol. Along with this, we are going to study presentation layer. In the sense, introduction about presentation layer, protocols comes under this presentation layer. Along with that, we are going to study application layer. And if I consider application layer, we have domain name server. So, how can I convert IP address to domain name and domain name to IP address? What are the mechanism I have? All those things we are going to study under this application layer, especially under domain name system. Along with this, we are going to study electronic mailing. There's nothing but emailing facility. What are the protocols we are going to use to send the email? Along with this, we are going to study World Wide Web. That's nothing but the www. It is just a repository. So what is repository here? That's nothing but the storage space. All those things we are going to study under this unit 3. So dear student, how many units? 3 units. If I study these 3 units properly, then I can able to know all the concepts about computer network. Now, I am going to have internals. So, dear student, we have total 3 internals. And what's the marks? It is for 30 marks. So, dear student, I have internal 1, in the sense unit 1, internal 1, unit 2, internals 2, and unit 3, internals 3. How many internals? 3 internals. And what is the marks? It is 30 marks. So, 1 internals 30 marks, second internals 30 marks and third internals 30 marks. Now, how I am going to finalize the marks? That is, final marks will be awarded on average of 3 internals. In the sense, while finalizing the marks, I am going to consider 3 test marks. 3 test mark divided by 3. So what I will do, I am going to add 3 internal marks divided by 3. Now, let me to discuss question paper pattern. So, dear student, please make a note here that this subject is only for 60 marks. In the sense, I am going to write final exam only for 60 marks. And from each unit, you can expect 20 marks. So, unit 1, 20 marks. Unit 2, 20 marks. Unit 3, 20 marks. Then what is the question paper pattern? I have part A and part B. See here, I have part A and I have part B. And if I consider part A, from first unit, I want to write the answer only for 15 marks. And second unit, 15 marks. And third unit, 15 marks. So, 15 into 3, it is 45. Then what about part B? From each unit, okay, you can expect 1 or 2 question. You can expect 1 or 2 question. For example, unit 1, 2 question, unit 2, 2 question, and unit 3, 3 question. And out of 6 questions, how many questions I want to answer? Only 3. So, 3 into 5, it is 15. So, dear student, from part A, how many marks? 15. So, unit 1, 15, unit 2, 15 and unit 3, 15. So, dear student, this 15 marks is further divided into 10 plus 5 or 7 plus 8. So, part A, 45 marks and part B, 15 marks. So, what is the total marks? It is 60 marks. And to score first class marks in this subject is very easy. Because all the topics are simple and small topic. And it is very easy to score full marks from this subject. Now, what's the Bible I want to refer if I want to get good marks? That is Data Communication and Networking. So, what is the book name? Data Communication and Networking. And the author name here is Forzoon. And refer 3rd edition. Which edition I want to refer? I want to refer 3rd edition. And what is the book name? Data Communication and Networking. Who is the author? Forzoon. So, who is the author? Forzoon, and edition is 3rd edition. This is the Bible you have to refer if I want to get good marks and you want to get complete knowledge about data communication as well as computer network. Anyway, dear student, let's meet in the next session with the first unit. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.